welcome back to my channel. So I've created this very girly and pinky makeup look, and it's super easy to create, so let's jump straight in with it. So I'm starting off with the eyes, and I've got my MAC paint pot in the shade Soft Ochre, and I love to use this as a base for my eyeshadows, just to ensure that they stay on super long and that they don't crease. Then I'm going into my Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette, and I'm taking that lilac-y pinky shade just through the crease on a fluffy blending brush, and then I'm just blending it back and forth, and I'm kind of building it up. And then on a flat shader brush, I decided to take this all over my lid, so I'm just packing on that same eyeshadow. I like to use patting motions just to ensure that I'm packing loads of eyeshadow on and to make sure that I'm not getting a lot of fallout, and then just going back in with a fluffy blending brush to blend it all together. Then going back into the same palette, and I'm taking the shade Antique Bronze, and I am using the flat shader brush again just to pack this colour onto the outer corners, and then kind of softly just blend it into the eye. As you can see, I'm just placing the brush over the top of where I've placed the eyeshadow, and I'm just kind of wedging it in between my crease and my eye, and then just wiggling it around to make sure the product blends out nicely just in that area, but doesn't move around too much. Then I'm taking this Anastasia Beverly Hills single eyeshadow in the shade Deep Plum, and again I'm just taking a little bit of this, and I'm taking this through the crease and mainly on the outer corner. And as you can see, the brush is nicely wedged into my crease to ensure it doesn't go any higher than that. And then taking the Cypress Umber shade from the Modern Renaissance palette, I'm focusing this just on the outer corner again. So what you can see is that I'm just building up with some depth on the outer corner of the eyes. Then going in with some gel liner. This is my Tarte Amazonian Clay waterproof gel liner, and just on a fine liner brush, I'm just taking this in short feathery motions along the eye, and then just creating a nice sharp wing. Moving on to the skin, I've got my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Biscuit, and I'm using this to just colour correct around my face. So anywhere where I've got a bit of darkness and dullness around my face, I'm using this to just brighten up those areas and conceal. So I'm just patting that over the top. And then for foundation, I've got Anastasia Beverly Hills New Stick Foundation, and I'm using this in the shade Warm Tan, and I am just applying this all over, and then using a damp beauty blender sponge, I'm just bouncing this along my face, and it's really nice and super easy to blend into the skin. So as you can see, just taking it in nice patting motions, never dragging the beauty blender around the face, just patting and blending it out. Then to conceal and highlight, I'm using my LA Girl Pro Conceal Concealer first, and this is just going to cover up those dark circles underneath my eyes. It's nice and full coverage, and it also doesn't crease. It's such a great dupe for the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer, so I'm just applying that on underneath my eyes. And then to highlight, I'm taking the Maybelline Eraser Eye Concealer, which is amazing. I love this stuff, and I'm just patting this over those areas to brighten it up. And then I'm highlighting with this same concealer, so just down the bridge of my nose, on my forehead, also on my cupid's bow, and on my chin too. And then just to blend it all out, I'm just using my damp beauty blender once again, patting that over the skin just to make sure it's nicely blended. And then you just want to set all of those concealed areas in place. And unfortunately, I don't have the clip of my Laura Mercier setting powder, but I am just using my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder to pat over those concealed and highlighted areas using my damp beauty blender sponge. And I'm using my damp sponge because it just blends the powder into your skin a lot nicer. It helps it to not look cakey on top of your skin, so I love it for that reason. Anyway, moving back onto the eyes, I'm just running that Antique Bronze eyeshadow that we put on the outside corners of our eyes first, along my lower lash line. So I'm just taking this all the way along the lower lashes, and then I wanted to build it up on the outer corner of the lower lash line, so I'm just taking a bit of that Cypress Umber shade just on the outer corners, and then I decided to just build it up slightly further into the crease. sometimes when you apply makeup onto your lower lash line, you can kind of take a step back and have a look where you need to apply more on your actual eye, and that's what happened here. Anyway, going back into the Modern Renaissance palette, I'm taking the shade Primavera, which is a really nice light highlighty shade, and that is just going on the inner corners of the eyes to make them pop. And then for bronzer, so going back onto the skin, I've got my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish powder in the shade Dark Deepest. This is one of my absolute favourite bronzers ever, and I'm just applying this on a large fluffy brush in the hollows of my cheeks, also just along the temples. I don't know why I always look so cross when I'm doing bronzer or contouring on my temples, Lord knows, but yeah, that's just warming up the perimeters of my face. And then for contour, I've got my Radial contouring powder, the Glam contouring powder in the shade Dark, and then I'm just taking that through the hollows of my cheeks and also just along my temples again. I also contoured my nose with this same powder. I really love this powder because it's so easy to blend, so nice, and it also looks very natural. So that's why I like to use it on my nose also. So just taking it down the sides of my nose and then at the tip. And then for highlighter, I'm taking one of my favorites, and it's my Champagne Pop highlighter by Becca and Jaclyn Hill. And just on a fan brush, I'm just building this up, and I like quite an intense highlighter, so yeah, I went a bit crazy with it. So I'm just applying it on the center of my forehead, down the bridge of my nose, on my chin, and also on my cupid's bow. And then for blush, I'm taking one of my old favorites, and I think I used this a lot at the beginning of the year or last year, but I loved it, and it's the NYX blusher in the shade Bittersweet. So as you can see, I'm just brushing this across the apples of my cheeks and up towards my contour. For mascara, I'm using my L'Oreal False Lash Sculpt mascara. It's one of my absolute favorites, so I'm just applying a couple of coats of this, and I did apply some Ardell Demi Wispies off camera, but yeah. And then for lips, I've got my MAC Plum Lip Liner. This is one of my old favorite lip liners and I love it. So yeah, I'm just lining my lips with this and going around them with this lip liner. It's so nice and easy to work with, so one of my absolute faves. And then for lipstick, I've got my Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipstick in the shade Crush. I'm not used to wearing pinky shades, so I found this really weird and unusual on me, but hey, you guys on Snapchat seem to like it, which is why you're getting this tutorial, by the way. Otherwise I wouldn't have posted it, because I didn't actually like the pink on me, but hey. Anyway, just to brighten that pink up a little bit more, I've gone in with Stripped liquid lipstick just to make it pop in the center of my lips. So I just applied that, and that's the finished look, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you give it a big thumbs up if you did, comment down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and also follow me on Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.